Automatic age verification has come to self-checkout in Germany. According to Retail Dive, a 24/7 store at the Stuttgart airport in Germany is piloting Diebold Nixdorf's Vynamic Smart Vision age verification solution to allow for the purchase of age-restricted items via self-checkout. When customers scan restricted items such as alcohol, their faces can be analyzed with a camera on the machine and an AI algorithm to see if it sees the customer is old enough for the purchase. Or said another way, with the Vynamic Smart Vision system, a camera installed in the kiosk analyzes a customer's facial characteristics to see if they meet a quote predefined threshold. If so, the purchase process continues. If not, a staff member manually checks the identification of any customers who get flagged by the system or choose to opt out. And I'm going to go to you on this one first. Das is good, yeah?
Yeah, I love this one. I think it's amazing. I mean, we recently spoke at a conference and somebody asked us, Chris, do you remember this? They're like, we were talking about Amazon Go, or we were talking about the technology inside the stadium at the Seahawks. And they were talking about, is this the best like method to do it? And how are you handling age verification? And so I think, while this doesn't completely eliminate the manual process involved, I think that it's 80% of the time it's getting it right. So it's more convenient for the customers, and especially more convenient for the operators that are trying to do multiple tasks within that one small store. So I think this is great. Like this, we should keep going, keep pushing forward with this.
So net, you like it. You think we should see this
Yeah.
over in the US then? You do.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh man, I almost lost it on that one because Ben, you were dying in the background after I did that. So yeah, sorry for everyone for my horrible German accent there. But Ann, you're a trooper for hanging in there. Ben, what do you think? Do you agree with Ann? I'm a little skeptical on whether we'll see this in the US, but I'm curious what your take is. And why are we seeing this in Germany of all places? Germany has like the highest privacy standards in the world, and yet
Because
they're
if you can do it in
this.
Germany, you can do it anywhere. That's the point, right? You got to pressure
Right.
test this in Germany.
Look, this it's a story that just pleases me.
It
And
does.
it does, and I'll tell you why it pleases me. Because when it's done well, self-checkout is genuinely additive to the customer experience.
Mhm.
So look, we know from research that it's not for everyone, but there's a really big group of shoppers that find it the quickest, most efficient, most pleasurable way to leave a store. But yet we feel like we've had a year where there's been nothing but negative news stories about self-checkout. And yeah, a lot of that's been driven by shrink and theft, and some has just been sort of emotional backlash against it as a principle. And
Mhm.
I'm really pleased. What pleases me is to see a story about investment and innovation. From Diebold Nixdorf. Look, yeah, I think they're doing it in Germany because it's in their backyard.
Yeah.
They're investing in it because they're a self checkout company, so it's in their interest. But it focuses on removing this customer pain point. And in Europe, the privacy and data protection laws through something called GDPR, it really limits what's possible with facial recognition. So to be able to develop a solution that works in that to comply with it is a real positive. We've seen some other similar experiments. So just yesterday, I was posted on LinkedIn about a Zabka store in Poland that's using similar technology in its autonomous stores to be able to enable shoppers to buy highly caffeinated energy drinks, which again are age limited, and there's a thing of that. So look, it makes sense. I use self checkout all the time.
Yeah.
I'm in my mid-40s. Every time I try and check out, try and buy a bottle of wine, somebody has to come over and say that I'm over 18. A computer can see that really easily. So, with the right checks and balances and proper oversight, you're just removing an unnecessary task from the store staff so they can get on with doing the higher value things. You're making the whole experience better. So for me, it's like, bravo, Adika. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for giving us a good news story on self-checkout.
Wow. Okay. So you guys are generally positive on this. I mean, I think I like the concept. Like, I'd love to just walk up to a self-checkout machine and have it know that I'm old as, getting old as dirt and gray and everything. But I don't know. I just don't see it coming over here in the States at all. I think there's such a kerfuffle around so many lawsuits around facial recognitions and its use. And
Hmm.
the zeitgeist around privacy is so different over in Europe than it is in the States that I just see America having a tough time with this. I mean, we can't even get, we can't even get people on board with like just walk out technology or even just computer vision at the self checkout monitoring things for theft, So like, doing this for facial ID scanning every single person at the self checkout that goes through. It seems like a bridge too far for me for the States, but I don't know. Time will tell. It depends.
Maybe we need more of it at the airports. Once the airports fully adopt
Good
it and
call.
start getting people more confirmed, like
Yeah,
it's so rare that that's
it's already
happening. But
happening.
I think
Yeah,
like once people start to get more comfortable with it and realize like I can get in and out and get this bottle of wine in a minute rather
right,
than, waiting again in
Yeah.
line, even in a checkout free store. I think it's those kinds of things that take this adoption to
right,
the next level.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
100%.
And I think as long as you program in optionality, do you want to have this done now with the cameras already built in,
Right.
for the software upgrade, or do you want to wait for
Oh,
a member
that's
to have,
interesting
yeah,
too.
you
which
Yeah,
can
is
look around, you
which is
can
what
look
Zippin
around you.
does. Yeah. And
Exactly.
yeah,
Amazon One Palm too. Like
yeah.
you can put your information in there so you don't have to be stopped at all. It's like, giving that's a great point, Ben. Great point to end on.